All right, everybody, welcome to the Essential Oils 101 online class. Thank you for being all here today. I always like to, before I do any of my online classes or webinars, just to kind of make sure you can hear things okay, because it's kind of this freaky thing where I'm teaching, but I'm imagining you in front of me, but I can't really see you or get any kind of feedback. So if you could just go ahead and put in the chat, just to let me know if you can hear okay. If you can see the screen, you should be seeing the Essential Oils 101 with the mom and her little girl on the front there. So just want to go ahead and just put in the chat that you can hear me okay, or that screen looks okay and stuff and so far, and then we'll go in and get started. All right, so yeah, if someone can just go in the chat, let me know that you can hear me okay. I'm gonna type in here just in case you can't, and you can't hear me and therefore can't answer. So yeah, okay, Kimberly said she hears great. Okay, I'm gonna assume everyone else is thumbs up, but if there's any kind of a challenge, let me know. Christy's saying cool too. Okay, so we're gonna jump right in, guys. I'm super, super excited to teach this. Some of you know a little bit about me, some not, but what I wanted to start with today is just to let you know that the reason I'm teaching this class is because I feel like I've got this really awesome gift that I want to share. And it's something that's simple, it's easy, it's natural. The benefits are often noticed right away. And also too, as we're going on, there's going to be time to kind of jump in and hi Connie, thank you for letting me know as well too. Just so you know too, I'll kind of interject, I will be seeing the chat kind of along the way. If there's times where I can't take a break, I might just kind of leave that and come back, but we'll have time for questions at the end as well then too. But yeah, lots of interaction. Feel free to kind of jump in, or this could actually be someone who's listening and they're watching the recorded replay. And if that's the case, then there's actually a section where you're able to type in a question and actually get that through as an email. And really, the more engaged you are, the better. So turn off Facebook, turn your phone over, so you don't see notifications, don't text or tweet, multitask, close the door, have this 60 minutes where you're right here, where you're really fully engaged, because you're going to really get the most out of it. So to really discover and learn why I think that everyone should really be introduced to essential oils, and to learn how easy it is to really become a healer in your own home. So quick background, 3 months ago, if you would have told me that I'd be here doing an online class, I taught a class in my office a few weeks ago, I teach another one next week, that I'd be talking about and sharing, excited about essential oils, I would have been like, yeah, you're crazy. Because as a chiropractor, I get solicited a lot to sell any of the, the new natural products, the new berry from the rainforest, the chocolate that makes you lose weight. Some that's good, some not so good, some that are just not a fit. And I honestly say no to about 99% of it. And I said yes to doTERRA. Not right away, but I said yes, finally. And my hope and intention is that you'll see why by the end of this class today. So I'm going to share with you my story as to why I brought essential oils into my family first. This is what I did before I started to actually begin to share it, and the benefits that I started to see, and what made me really want to become an advocate for doTERRA and really share this story. So today we're going to go through what essential oils are, how to use them for yourself and for your family, how you can actually get essential oils into your home. And, if what I'm doing, kind of sharing this, really resonates with you, or if you like to really do what I'm doing, then let's definitely connect via email. And it's just the one you see here. It's the same one you would have gotten with the confirmation for your webinar and the notifications leading up to this class. But it's Dr. Karen at mom41.com. So I want to share with you then a little bit more about my story. So I'm a chiropractor. This is me and my hubby and my 2 boys. So I'm a chiropractor coming up on 14 years, actually, this March. I graduated in 2001, 12 and a half years in my current practice with my husband, Ed, who's also a chiropractor, and that's at Synergy Family Wellness Center in St. Albert, Alberta, Canada. I am podcast host and creator of Mom at 41. I'm a Desire Map facilitator. I'm an adoptive mom to our 2 beautiful boys, Tyson. This is actually almost a year ago, this picture. It's almost hard to believe. Tyson, who you're seeing that Ed is holding, he's now 4. And Kai, who I'm holding, he's almost 18 months. And to my awesome husband, Ed, and we've been together for about 22 years now. So here's what happened. So back in, actually, let me kind of backtrack a little bit. My family has been really sick and run down recently. I don't know if that's been the case for you. Throw it in the chat if it's like, oh my God, we're getting so sick. It's getting passed around. I've never experienced anything like this before. Now, with that as well, then too, there's definitely some lifestyle habits that have led to this, right? Germ theory is a cool theory, but it isn't just you get the germ and therefore you get it. There's been a lot of things leading up to that. But we've had like coughs, runny nose, really tired, cranky. That's my husband and our boys. And my friend Andrea started working with doTERRA. She's a chiropractor as well in Barrie, Ontario. And she told me, this was like back in June. I was actually getting ready to launch Mom at 41 to get the podcast ready. So I was like, no, I'm not really into that at all. Thanks so much. And then I started to work on the podcast in June, launched it in July, had a blog, a website. I was creating programs, all the social media. And my husband Ed actually launched his podcast called The Chiropractic Philanthropist about a month or so afterwards. And so with that, and of course, we also have a chiropractic practice. We'd be up early in the morning, late at night, getting probably 4 to 5 hours of broken sleep because we still got kids up sometimes at night. So very little sleep, huge amount of stress, lots of personal challenges that came up as well too. November hit and it was like, oh my God, like I need some help. Yeah, Kimberly's kind of saying last year, lots of sickness, flu bugs. I know, it's crazy. Hey, like and again, before this, I would have been like, oh, that's, people aren't eating well and you run down. Maybe you're not your nerve system checked by a chiropractor. You're not getting enough sleep. But yeah. Oh, Kim, you're adoptive mommy too. That's so cool. I love meeting other adoptive mamas. So anyways, so this happened in November and I was like, what the heck? And I was like, okay, I'm going to give these essential oils a try because like, I don't know what else to do. We're doing all of the good habits that we normally do. And so the first thing I had gotten was a couple bottles of I got lemon, lavender, and peppermint. And so what happened is actually my youngest boy, Kai, we got the call from daycare. It was whatever day of the week. And it's like, hey, he's really sick. He's run down. He has a fever. You got to come pick him up. And we're like, oh, okay, crap. It's a little hard when you're a working parent, right? You got to rearrange stuff and that. And so I went and got him. He was really lethargic. And I didn't really know what to do much with the oils at that point. I was still so new. And so I knew the peppermint was cooling. And so we brought Kai home. I actually canceled my appointments after in the office, which almost never need to do. Of course, we adjusted him. And then I took some peppermint and just rubbed it on his forehead. And I tell you, within probably 2 hours, his fever broke. Totally different little guy. And so that was my first introduction where I went, oh my gosh, this is pretty interesting stuff. I want to kind of keep going with it and see what happens, kind of. You know, my first thing was to really experiment, if you will, quote unquote, with my family and kind of go from there. But I'd love to hear from you that are all on the webinar today. So why are you here? And what kind of health concerns are you experiencing? Kimberly mentioned, you know, just a lot of immune system stuff with flu and head colds. But what are some of the health concerns, if you want to put in the chat, that you're experiencing? What health concerns do you have for your family, so for your kids and or significant other? What are your goals you'd like to see happen with your health? And is this really something, too, you might even want to share with family and friends? Because, you know, it's kind of one of those things. You find something that's so wonderful, you want to share it. We see a good movie, and we go, oh, you got to see that movie, right? We go to a new restaurant, we're like, oh, my God, the food's so good. The service is incredible. You got to go and eat here. And so I think when it comes to health, it's even more so than too. So I'll keep going, but go ahead and put in the chat, you know, what are your health goals? What would you really like to see happen? And really your purpose for being on this call as well then too. So now when I teach this, I usually have people kind of raise their hands, but we will do a virtual hand raising, which you could put yes in the chat box, which is really, you know, how many of us would really are looking for safer, more natural, you know, solutions for what's going on with our family's health. So if you want to go ahead, pop that in there, and I'm going to actually answer a couple things that are coming in. So Kimberly's saying straight peppermint with no carrier. Totally. Yes, I did. I did at that time, Kimberly, because I didn't have any carrier oil. I just had the bottle. I was like, just flipped it over, took a couple drops. So even for Kai being little with doTERRA, we'll go into the quality of that. It's actually okay to use that oil neat, which is kind of right by itself. But if I had a carrier oil, I probably would have used it. Jeanette's saying, yeah, flu going around, kids and husband in school. Kimberly's saying, so health, anxiety, depression, sickness, mood, attention, etc. Yeah, lots of challenges. I find the more I start talking to people about these things, and as a chiropractor, I have these conversations every day in my practice, but it's almost as if there's more things that people start to share with me because they may start to think, well, chiropractic is kind of for one thing, and this is maybe something that's a little bit different. So the conversation gets a little bit more into deeper things that are really kind of happening with family. And I feel it's up to us as moms, as parents, as friends, and for the sake of our own health to really take this matter into our own hands. You know, that literally no one's coming to save us. There's not going to be any new bug. There's not going to be any new vaccination that saves us or a brand new drug. But it's up to us to start to really, you know, to do things like essential oils, really simple lifestyle habit you can begin to implement to help your body to feel and function better and to continue to improve and explode your health. And this is why doTERRA talks about their mission of creating a healer in every home, which I love that. And I strongly stand behind and believe in that mission. And it fits in beautifully what I do as a chiropractor as well. And I can see a few of you are also saying allergies too. Yep, that's also something that I see really rampant as well. So let's take a look then about health and where does it really come from? You know, this isn't going to be a, hey, you have a headache, take this. Hey, you have allergies, take this or try these oils without us really addressing the foundation, right? I think it all makes sense that we have to start with the basics first. So if we take a look at this little pyramid blocks, if you will, is that we have to first take a look at the food rating. It has to be real food. We have to be moving our body each day. We have to be getting a good amount of sleep, managing stress, and having the tools to be able to do that, and reducing the toxins that are going into our bodies and our kids' bodies. Now, kind of where I've got the red arrow, that's where people often start now. This is where they start, you know, looking into what's happening with health, really sickness at that point. This is when they start to become symptomatic. They're run down, they're exhausted, they're going through all the different medications, and they just don't really know what to do. But we have to make sure that we address those basics first, which I love that doTERRA talks about that as well then too. Kimberly's just commenting too, but yeah, we have a lot of kids. I don't take care of myself properly. I need to take better care. Yeah, that's a tough one, right? As moms, but you know that you've heard of the analogy of if you're, you know, the plane's going down, you put your oxygen mask on first, right? And so what's neat, I find with essential oils is a lot of moms start to use them. It's so easy. They'll start to use them. It's like, let me get oils in the kids. Now it's my turn for things. And so it'll be something really simple, even with a big family, even with lots going on, that you can actually do on a regular basis throughout the day. So doTERRA was founded in 2008. Basically, 7 people got together and said, hey, I want to create, by the way, doTERRA means gift to the earth. That's what it actually stands for. So we want to create these essential oils that are pure, they're unadulterated, meaning there's nothing kind of in them. And there really is this shift back to natural solutions. In the time that I've been a chiropractor, I'm certainly seeing a lot more of that. A lot more people that they do not want the drugs. They're looking for a lot more natural solutions to take care of their family, and they're really focusing back on saying, well, what's the cause? I want to address that. I have some people that will say to me, right, everyone wants a quick fix, right? And the answer really is these days, no. People have done that. They've tried that, and they realize it doesn't really make sense. And if we don't address the cause, then we'll just keep having this perpetual cycle of not being well. And so that's really where doTERRA comes in. And again, why it so resonates for me as a chiropractor, because as a chiropractor, we really look at cause. Why is this happening? It's interesting because there's a lot of chiropractors that are using doTERRA either for themselves, they're teaching online classes like I am, or they're using it in their practice because it does really fit very well with our philosophy that we see as chiropractors. So I'm going to kind of intersperse throughout the information because we got a lot that we're going to go through in this next little bit of time. Some stories and shares of what I've noticed with my own family. And so I mentioned something about Kai a little bit earlier with fever. So my husband, Ed, was diagnosed with Crohn's back in 2009. And you may know about Crohn's, you may not. It's different for everybody. It can be where someone has no symptoms and they go into remission. And it can be a little bit more on the severe end, which is what's the case with my husband, Ed. A year after he was diagnosed, he had emergency surgery in 2010. And to be honest, it's been really rough. It's been really rough. We have tried everything and anything. And that's pharmaceutical to natural to, oh gosh, just all sorts of stuff that we've tried over the years. And so at this point, it's really about, well, how can we help Ed's body function the best? And so what'll happen, I mean, for Ed, and I don't say this to kind of, to get sympathy, but just to be really real and honest, he experiences pain every day. And it's just basically different intensities of that. It's often too very difficult because he's actually had to leave practice because he doesn't know what his day is going to be like. And not knowing what it's going to be like and knowing you have to be a certain place is incredibly stressful. One of the reasons he started the podcast and is doing work a little bit differently in chiropractic, but he's no longer hands-on in the office because of the challenges with his health. And so occasionally Ed will get flare-ups. And so he'll notice it's usually towards the end of the day. It's usually after he's eaten. And he starts to notice that he's getting a lot of pressure, like a lot of pain. And it's happened enough that he knows that this often is going to progress. He'll be like, I got to go lie down. I'm thinking, oh, crap. Like, are we going to the hospital tonight? What do we do with the kids? Like, all these things, which I think I shouldn't have to do this thing, but this is what it's like with Ed having Crohn's. And so when I first got in some products, one was this one called Digest Zen, which we'll get to this a little bit later, but it helps with digestive concerns, obviously called Digest Zen. I just said, you know what, honey, just do me a favor. I know we've tried like everything. I know you're kind of like frustrated and like nothing's like, I just got to kind of try to get through each day, but let's just try this. So I took Digest Zen. You can actually take it internally, put a few drops in water. And I was like, just drink this. And I think it was close to bedtime because I went to bed. I woke up in the morning and I kind of forgot, like, probably exhausted, just went to bed. I was like, oh, by the way, like, what happened? Like, how did you feel afterwards? And he was like, you know what? The pain didn't go away, but it didn't progress. And for Ed, like, that's huge. I know it's maybe not as sexy of a story of, and his pain completely went away and everything's beautiful now. That's not the way it is. But for it to not have progressed with Ed, that's huge because that's never happened before. And then probably about 4 days later, same thing that I did, same response where it didn't progress. So that was, again, to me, when I was like deciding, like, do I just want to try stuff? Am I going to actually share this with people in the office, with people I know in the community and online community as well? And that was another thing where I went, oh my gosh, there's something kind of cool to this. So let's go into what an essential oil is. I'm also going to obviously go through all the benefits and then how you're able to actually get this into your home. So this is a really cool picture. So on the left, or I guess, yeah, you're facing your computer, your phone, your left, that is a peppermint leaf. Okay, on the right is the close-up version, microscopic version, if you will. Those little white things you're seeing, those are actually sacs of peppermint oil. And so essential oils are extracted from plants. And so from the seeds, bark, leaves, fruit, and different ways to actually extract them. And so I like showing this picture because it shows how nature has these oils within them and for a purpose. So again, you see the little white sacs that have peppermint oil within that, and these little kind of spores, like almost like a little protective part of the plant, because they know that how important that oil is to that plant. So I think it's just kind of neat to show that we are essentially just, you know, working with nature and following their lead, if they will. And this is really why the essential oils will have that effect and why it makes so much sense. So 3 ways that you can actually use essential oils. Aromatic, so you can diffuse them. Diffusers are great, by the way, wonderful. Diffuse them. You can just put them in your hands and smell them. That's another way to kind of get that in aromatically. Topically, you can apply it directly to the skin, or you can have a carrier oil. doTERRA makes a really awesome one, which is a fractionated coconut oil. The fat's been removed, so it's just in a liquid form. Usually coconut oil is solid, so you don't have to melt it or rub it and do that kind of thing. It's not oily and greasy, and it's just super convenient in a little squirt bottle. So you can put it topically. Some, as I forgot who was asked the question earlier, and I have to kind of scroll down, and had you know, mentioned, can you just put the peppermint oil on by itself, or what's called neat? And you can. It's just, if having a carrier oil, if you have a bigger area of the body. Yes, Kimberly, doTERRA is a brand name, like Young Living, correct? Yeah, doTERRA is the brand name. But yeah, topically, if you have a bigger area, so with, for example, with Digestin, we could have also put a few oils, a few drops of the Digestin into a carrier oil, or just by itself, and rub it into Ed's stomach as well too when he's having one of those flare-ups from Crohn's. So you can apply it topically, and then you can take it internally. Now we're going to talk about what's okay to have internally and what's not, and this is when really quality comes into play. You do not want to go to the drugstore right after we're done and go get an oil there and then say, I'm going to put it in water. Okay, so you really have to make sure that you're getting a pure oil that is a certified pure and therapeutic grade, if you're going to actually take that internally. And we'll go through different types of oils as well then too. So essential oils, so really safe. Again, there's not really any side effects that happen from them. You want to, of course, keep them out of, you know, your eyes, your ears, your nose, that kind of thing. We talked about dilution, so coconut oil is great. In a pinch, you can use olive oil. My oldest boy, Tyson, he actually had like a little bit of a reaction. It was kind of over time to the coconut oil. And we've used it before, but it didn't have, but it was just like these little red bumpy things. Didn't bother him. But I started to notice it was like right where I was rubbing it to his chest. And so my friend Andrew had the same thing with her boy Blake. She started using olive oil, said with that carrier oil, I did too, and it's totally fine, okay? You're gonna see on any doTERRA's products that it has this little chart, if you will, kind of showing you how you can use the oil. So little A means you can use it aromatically, T is topical, I is internally, N is gonna be neat. So again, you don't have to dilute. Some things that are for sensitive skin. So you're usually gonna see that for like babies, kids, and the things that you need to dilute, what you're saying with the D, before you actually use that. So, you know, you just follow the directions that are on the label. There's lots of, you know, information you'll kind of get with that. And again, internally, only, I can't stress this enough, with certified pure therapeutic grade oils like doTERRA makes. So important. So let's take a look into doTERRA and why that's important. Because someone mentioned before, yeah, there's other brand names that are out there as well too, and some that I've heard some good things about. So people kind of ask me the differences. I don't really have a lot of expertise in the other ones. I just kind of know doTERRA. And so let's go through though the 4 different types of grades of essential oils. Okay, so first is synthetic. That would be like one where you'd have like a shampoo that has a lavender scent to it. Okay, so it's in beauty products. So it's just strictly for the smell. The second would then be for food. And so you'd have it for flavor and for smell. And so maybe it's cinnamon, it's sage, that kind of thing. So it's gonna smell really good, aromatic, but you're gonna have the taste of that as well into the flavor. The next is therapeutic. So some might use it for massage. And so people have told me I like using Japanese mint oil, or I don't know, some other, maybe like a tiger balm-ish kind of thing, right? So use it for massage. Therapeutic is still not regulated. And those would be the ones you might get, say, like at a health food store. And then there's doTERRA, which is certified pure therapeutic grade. Oh, actually, as I put on, I can see my slide, grad. So I will fix that later. But yeah, and what exactly does that mean? And can you say that 5 times? Certified pure therapeutic grade. It's a mouthful, eh? So here's how that works. The founders of doTERRA just wanted a really, really high standard. And so certified pure therapeutic grade means that, number one, they're actually getting the plants in their natural habitat. So for example, lavender, I could grow lavender in my backyard, okay, in Alberta, Canada. You could grow lavender where you are. The best place to actually source and where lavender grows naturally and in the best environments is actually in France. And so any of the plant sources that the oils are made from are going to actually be taken from their natural and best habitat, if you will. It also means, too, certified pure therapeutic grade, that there's third-party testing. And so they pay outside agencies to come in to actually test to make sure that products are what they say they are, that they're safe, and that they're okay for us to use. And it's beyond just being an organic type of oil when it's pure. So pure also means that it's natural, there's no artificial ingredients, no fragrances or fillers, it's safe. And so where they actually got the plant matter, if you will, from, there's no chemical residue, there's no pesticides with it, and the potency as well then too. So you're gonna have it where it's standardized. It's not just like, well, that batch was so-so and that one's more potent or that one's less. And you know, it's interesting, I have used essential oils before doTERRA, just kind of randomly, right? Like for our chiropractic tables in our office, we actually spray them down with lavender and peppermint grapefruit, make like a little blend, mix that with water. It's interesting because once I got the doTERRA oils in, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go, we have peppermint, like one I just got at the drugstore. I'm gonna smell them and see what the difference is, because I've heard people say that even just the smell is quite different. So I smelled doTERRA, I'm like, okay, cool, love that peppermint oil. I smelled the one from the drugstore or the health food store. And it was almost like, it's hard to explain. It was definitely a fainter smell, fainter peppermint, so it wasn't as strong of a smell. And it's just, I could smell like there was something else, like it was like a gluey kind of smell. It was really wild. Nothing I would have known before, nothing unless I had the two together, like the old Pepsi challenge, right? Kind of having both side by side, that I probably would have known, but I definitely could smell the difference. And I know I was smelling all the other kind of, you know, fillers and stuff that was obviously inside of that. So before we get started, this is my youngest son, Kai. He's like a big goofball. He just does silly things like this all the time. But I want to take a little bit of a break. We're about halfway through-ish. We're going to start diving into the essential oils, going through them, learning a little bit more about them. Questions you have, feel free to pop them in. Take a breath for a second, maybe stretch. I'm a little bit drink of tea here. All right, and then we're gonna keep going in here then too. I just like having a little midway to kind of break up all the content. So what I thought it'd be cool is to show you some of the kind of basic oils, if you will, that's in one of doTERRA's kits. I like these kits. This is actually the first product I got, which is called the Family Physicians Kit. Now, if I had to kind of rewind back time, I definitely would have gotten a different kit, because I think this is a good starter one, but there's some better ones I like even more so. But this is just kind of a good starting point, and it gives you a chance to be able to get more than like an oil here or there, because once you get started, you want to keep trying more stuff then too. So again, I started with this one, and there's actually bonuses in this kit that they now have with it that didn't have it when I first started with doTERRA. So let's go ahead and we're going to jump right in and go through these. So Family Physician Kit comes with 10 oils, so 6 single essential oils and 4 blends. And again, these are really basic foundational ones. I even found, for me at first, I was like, what am I doing with MELALEUCA? But then as I started to learn about it more, I was like, oh, I get it as to why now this is such a good basic one. So let's go through these then. Lavender. Jeanette, you're doing laundry? Just look at her chat. Come on back. Don't multitask. You got 30 minutes. You could do it. Hang in. All right, so lavender. Go ahead and type in yes in the chat if you've used lavender before. It's definitely a very popular one. Maybe if you have a diffuser, maybe you've diffused it in the past. So it's a really calming oil. And so you can put it onto your pillow at night to help to wind down. You can mix it with a carrier oil like the fractionated coconut oil, rub it at the bottoms of your feet. By the way, bottoms of the feet, because of the amount of pores that we have in our feet, it's one of the best places and fastest ways to absorb the oil. So research has actually shown that it helps actually to absorb into every cell in the body within 20 minutes, which I know sounds crazy, but the essential oils actually pass the cell membrane. So not even drugs, pharmaceuticals actually do that. And diffuse, I actually like to diffuse this at night. Skin issues too. My youngest boy, Kai, has, he's just had almost like, I call it like babies. It's for the last year. It's the wildest thing. My little boy Tyson had the beautiful, most soft skin most of our kids have, and Kai's got these like little white little zitty things. And so I've started actually putting like morning and night, a couple drops of lavender in the fractionated coconut oil, and I rub it in his little cheeks, and even his upper arms is like that too. And I would say being consistent over the past, I don't know, maybe 3, because before I would like try it, I was like, oh, it's better, then I would stop, and then it would come back. And so I'd say over the past 2-3 weeks, I've been pretty consistent, and I would say it's about 65-70% better. So it's definitely doing much, much better. So lavender is that first one. Lemon. Oh, I love lemon. One of my favorite ways to have lemon is in water. Okay, and I put on here, who's thirsty at the bottom, the last little thing. Actually, when I teach classes in person, I actually have water there, and someone gets to actually to try that. But it's like the best tasting lemon you've ever had. You don't have to squeeze that lemon. So just a couple drops on water. It's really cleansing. It really helps as far as you can diffuse that as well too, to kind of more like a clean smell within the room. Cleaning, it's used often. I've mixed it with olive oil as a furniture polish. It's amazing, and of course smells great. And actually one time too, I'll tell you something with Tyson. So Tyson, about a month or so ago, I think it was before Christmas time, he woke up with a really sore throat and he's coughing. And I'm like, geez, I have to, oh, actually Jeanette said too, for bug bites, for lavender. Yeah, it's a good one. And for boys, actually Kimberly and Jeanette has said for the boys, they use it to help to calm them as well too. Yeah, lavender's great. To me, it's an oil that's just like you have to have. Like it is an absolute basic. So that's why it's in all the kits. So Tyson woke up, so sore throat, coughing. So I said, okay, buddy, we're gonna put, now raw honey is like great, by the way, for sore throat, but you gotta have like raw honey, right? So I took raw honey, a drop of lemon oil. He took a spoonful of that. We gave him vitamin D. And then I also took we're going to see the next one of the ones coming up called On Guard. It's one of the doTERRA's blends, which is great for immune system. Bottoms of the feet, rub that in. And honestly, by the time he got up to when we got in the car to go to daycare, he had stopped coughing probably 30-40 minutes later. And again, it was these instances I kept having with my family where I was thinking like, is this really happening? Like I almost couldn't believe it. And I'm a pretty open person, but it was just, the results were just unbelievable. Kimberly, saying a couple drops to a cup of water, or how much? Yeah, like 1 or 2 drops in a glass of water. Like whatever, 6 ounce, 8 ounce, 10 ounce. But just a drop or 2 is really all that you need. So it's pretty easy to take. Peppermint. Love peppermint too. To me, the basics are peppermint, lemon, lavender. You can do so much with them. So you can actually also put peppermint in water. Okay, so it's really cooling. If you are noticing sore throat, great for that. You want to freshen breath, peppermint and water is great for that. They've got it actually here on the side as a mouth rinse. I mentioned as well to cool down, right? And so fever, a lot of people will mix it with lavender for headache. doTERRA has a really great one, which is called In Tune, which is actually in a roller bottle. So that's a great one to use for headaches as well. So peppermint diffused as well. I've actually diffused peppermint and lemon, and it's like, oh, it's like really refreshing smell. And so if you're feeling kind of a little bit draggy, I like diffusing that as well too. MELALEUCA. So MELALEUCA is tea tree, which we've often heard of. And so really great for immune system support. If you've had like a cut or a burn, someone else had mentioned about putting lavender on for bug bites. MELALEUCA you can use as well too. You can actually also take it internally. And so doTERRA has, you can buy these veggie capsules. So they're just, like ones that you can open up, right? Those little capsules. They're super cheap. I think it's $4. You get like 120 or something. And you can make your own little capsules. It's the easiest thing in the world. I know it sounds like a big deal, but I've often done a couple drops of MELALEUCA, a couple of lemon, a couple of On Guard, which is the immune support one, or say a drop of oregano, put it together, swallow it. And so even though some of these, as you're saying, or as you can see on the chart, you see the eye, that means you can take it internally. MELALEUCA is going to taste like crap. Okay, so you can do it that way. You can take oregano as well too, drop on the tongue. It's not good tasting. And so the veggie capsules, I usually will have people, definitely get that at, say, like their next order, because it's so easy to be able to take it that way. And those that don't like the taste or don't want the nasty taste, it's an easy way to internally get that oil. And again, it's got to be a certified pure therapeutic, like doTERRA. Really, really important. So oregano that I just mentioned, yeah, great for immune support. Bottoms of the feet for immune support. It's going to smell like oregano, obviously. You know, Italian food type of smell. And what was I going to say with that as well too? Cooking. So you can actually cook with a lot of the essential oils. I'm thinking of actually doing each month a different theme online and in our office class. And I will at one time do it on how you actually cook with the oils. But, you know, again, you just don't need to use a whole lot because it's super concentrated. But oregano, mainly the way that I've used it is for immune support. So bottoms of the feet with that carrier oil, or just to take a drop. Again, not so good tasting. Tea tree bottoms of feet as well. Absolutely, Kimberly. Yep, because you're saying on there that it's okay to put it on topically, then you absolutely can. Jeanette, you're saying end head lice. Is that for MELALEUCA than the tea tree? I think so. I would say probably for that then too. So if the kids come home with head lice, you've got a better solution than what I've heard is pretty nasty, some of the lice shampoos and all that kind of stuff. Frankincense. Oh my gosh, frankincense. I love frankincense. I knew nothing about it outside of like, isn't that one of the oils the wise man brought with them? Really biblical type of thing. So frankincense, people will say when in doubt, use frankincense because it's so versatile. So immune support, great for to add to the skin. When I got mine in, I really had no clue what to do with it. I opened up my box and it showed in the family physician kit kind of different suggestions on what to do. And so it said with frankincense, add a couple drops to your moisturizer for beautiful skin. I went, okay, because I didn't know anything else of what to do at the point. So I did that, and it's like, oh my goodness, my skin would just glow, like just so beautiful. You can mix with lavender and peppermint to calm. People will notice it either just helps them to kind of to shift that mood, energy. So wonderful. And you can actually take it internally too. And so I, at times with the veggie capsules, I've done frankincense, I've done lemon, done maybe also to the On Guard or just lemon frankincense for that immune support. So frankincense is wonderful oil. Deep Blue. And so this is for muscle and joint pain. Deep Blue actually has some other products as well too. Now you're seeing with this, just the tea topical and not the internal, now this one actually is okay neat. I don't know why the little N isn't showing on there. But obviously not aromatic. You don't want it because it's really quite strong, but you're really rubbing it onto sore muscles after exercise when you're feeling pain. I would definitely use it with a carrier oil. Now you're going to see then too, it's got a special little bottle top because of the potency of that oil that's on there. And some people use it before a workout. They kind of, or before a yoga class to kind of get their body ready for that. But Deep Blue is wonderful and it feels great, like really kind of tingly on the skin. Massage therapists will use this as well too and absolutely love it. Breathe, again, one of my favorites. I know it maybe seem like I'm getting excited about all the oils because they're all just so wonderful, but Breathe is amazing. So it's a blend of different oils, really important for supporting immune system and respiratory support specifically. So if someone is noticing like they're coughing a lot, they're congested, few drops of Breathe, carrier oil or not, rubs into the chest, back of the neck, take that last little bit and smell it as well. So you want to, you know, get everything out of that oil, bottoms of the feet for sure. Put it in humidifier at night. You could put it in your diffuser. So we actually ran out of this oil and my orders right now are actually on back order, or probably not back order, they're held at customs, okay, which is not that I want to scare any Canadians, but it's incredibly rare this happens, I've been told, and it should be here any day. However, my kids have got a little bit run down again. I'm like, oh my God, I need my Breathe oil. But I had a little bit left at the office a few weeks ago. I shared it with a practice member. Her name is Charlene, and she was really, really congested. Jeanette's saying my best, yeah, Breathe. Oh my God, such a great oil. So I gave some to Charlene. I said, look, let's just kind of try this with you. A couple drops, I showed it to her. She left, we got her checked. She came back 2 weeks later for an next adjustment and said, oh my God, Dr. Karen, I can't believe how well, like everything just opened up for me. And it really helped to clear that. Where do I get that? And she wanted to get some right away. So Breathe is one of my absolute favorites. I mentioned Digestin. So for my husband, Ed, obviously something, you know, intense like Crohn's or IBS or, you know, those types of things. If people are feeling just a little bloaty afterwards or upset stomach, you know, nauseated, that kind of thing. You can also take it internally. I mentioned actually putting it in water. You can put it in a veggie capsule. And again, bottoms of the feet. You can do that if kids are kind of feeling upset tummy. You can put it there. You can rub it right into tummy as well then too. Or you can put it again in the veggie capsule. My husband, Ed, he doesn't really like the taste of it. So it tastes like licorice. So people I find either love it or they hate it. There's not really an in-between. And so if you do, then you don't have to take it this way. You can take it in a veggie capsule, or doTERRA actually has a gel cap. So even easier, it kind of comes in a supplement form. And On Guard, again, On Guard, oh, the smell is incredible. It's like an orangey, clovey kind of smell. But On Guard is one that helps to destroy pathogens. And so whether that's in us or in the air. And so you can diffuse it when it's, say, teachers will sometimes use this like at school when the kids are sick all the time. Cleaning, it's used a lot. On Guard, actually, doTERRA has a whole line of products with On Guard that are cleaning. And so there's laundry soap and regular soap, and there's toothpaste. And so really, really important for helping with bacteria. You can use it as a gargle. You can actually, too, take it internally, like just to have that, again, too, I mentioned for immune support. And so in a veggie capsule, I've actually just put a drop on my hand and then licked it. And you can do that, too. Now, it's a little bit of a spicier one. Probably your kids wouldn't love it as much. I think I did it with Tyson one time, and he was like, oh, it's hot, it's hot. So he didn't like the spiciness of it. But On Guard is, again, one of those incredibly versatile oils that you can use for a lot of different things. And so those are all the ones in the Family Physician Kit, as well as the Slim and Sassy, which I just realized I forgot to have a slide for that then too. That's one that's actually used in some of their weight loss programs, and it helps to really to increase metabolism. Another chiropractor now that's within doTERRA, she's kind of within what's called my upline, Dr. Tanya, she's told me she just started taking it and she just noticed her energy is just like through the roof. So I've ordered a Reese one to kind of try that as well. But I want to share with you one of my stories as well that kind of got me so excited about the oils as well then too. I'm just looking at one of the comments. Jeanette, you're saying, oh, On Guard and pumpkin pancakes? Wow, that's interesting. That's really, really cool. Okay, I'm going to try that. I'm going to try that. And Kimberly said, does On Guard have thieves oil in it? So thieves oil, Kimberly, is a blend of different oils that you're probably aware of. On Guard is kind of, as far as I know, is like doTERRA's blend of thieves oil. Okay, so that's, again, that one for immune support. Okay, so back to Balance. So Balance is one of the 4 oils that doTERRA has that's used for regulating moods. And I remember watching, there's so many great videos about doTERRA. You can just go doTERRA on YouTube and you'll see all these videos. And so I was watching one as I've been kind of training, getting ready to teach classes about Balance, but the person teaching saying she puts Balance on, a few drops in her hand, rubs in the back of her neck, into her shoulders and trap muscles, breathes it in, and how she feels more grounded. And the first few times I used it, I was like, I don't know, like I like it. It's a really cool smell. It's kind of woodsy, very earthy. And then I had this experience a few weeks ago where I was in my bedroom, and I was in my bare feet, but still, and I'm ironing my shirt. I'd used Balance. And so when you're feeling kind of like stressed, a little bit anxious, so I was feeling a little bit stressed about things. I think it was actually the day I taught my very first class, my first essential oils class. And I was ironing them, of course, standing as I'm ironing. And I literally had the sensation of my feet just being like glued right into the ground. It was the wildest thing. And I went, oh, that's what she's talking about. She mentioned that video because I totally experienced it. So you can use it the way that I mentioned, bottoms of the feet as well then too. I like it as well, just again, just a couple drops, rub into the back of your neck. You can put it in your wrist. You want to smell it, so get everything out of it. Just a really easy way to do it. And you could put a little bit into your car as well too. Maybe if things are a little bit crazy on a long road trip. So Kimberly's like, what was the last one you said you called with weight loss? It's called Slim and Sassy, Kimberly, Slim and Sassy. And again, that one's actually in the Family Physician's Kit, so it includes that one. I want to show you something really cool. So it's a little hard to see this. This is a still image. And there's actually, if you go onto YouTube, you can go doTERRA Balance Live Blood Cell Analysis, and you'll see the video of this. So here's what was done. You might have heard of live blood cell analysis before. It's where they basically will take pinprick, take your blood, and see it live under a microscope. So it's pretty cool to kind of be able to see exactly what's happening with the body at that time. So this was with someone that was kind of pre and post using Balance. And so before Balance, so you're seeing the before, obviously pitch the one on the left, those are the cells. So you see how they're kind of long, they're sticky, they can't move really well. In the video, it's a little bit more apparent for that. So then Balance was put to the bottom of his feet, and the after you're seeing, now they're saying 30 seconds later, all the stuff that I've read said takes up to about 20 minutes, but you're seeing now, this is what healthy cells should look like. This is what your blood should look like. Nice round cells, they're moving around, they're not bumping into each other, they all have space. And so this to me too, as a chiropractor, what really excited me to go, oh my gosh, this isn't just stuff smells good and therefore I feel good, but there's a real physiological change that happens within the body. This would not just happen by anything alone. And this is just simply after putting balance and seeing how that really starts to shift within the body. So just amazing, amazing how that works. All right. So yeah, I'm sorry, I've slipped a slide here for a second. So one of the things I love about doTERRA as well then too, and with essential oils, it's just that, you know, it gives you some of that control back, right? I find for a lot of families now, we were chatting about this at the beginning too, just like, God, everyone's sick and run down. They feel like, I don't know what to do. I don't want to be taking all these drugs, but I'm just so like, what else do I really do? And, you know, these are simple tools that are easy to use. They're, you know, again, they're not difficult. They're very simple and they're incredibly powerful and effective at the same time with that. And so, and a lot of people too, they're going to share stuff. You know, you're going to find that once people kind of get hooked onto the oils, and I say that as a good thing, that's a good addiction, if you will, right? They start, you know, they want to share it with other people. As I mentioned before, we're going to share a great TV show or a movie or a restaurant, but gosh, if you're noticing a difference in your health, the ability to start sharing this with family and friends is pretty easy, you know? And so whether people kind of do this casually, that they share stuff, I've had some just say, hey, just come over. I just want you to try a couple things. They're at dinner and they're showing stuff. Like the picture of these two couples, I guess, having a conversation at dinner or something like that. But again, if you'd like to learn more about how to do this, how to maybe help to pay for your oils each month, some people will do it, they'll share just because they want to do that. They're like, you know what, I'd like to have my oils covered, and if I can help family and friends, and that's cool, and make a little bit of income to do that. Some will actually get involved in doTERRA just to use the products. Some will want to share even a little bit more and kind of say, well, geez, if I can supplement my income, that would be kind of cool. And some actually even go a little bit more and say, I actually want this to replace my income. And so again, feel free to shoot me an email. Usually if I'm teaching in class, we'll kind of chat with anyone afterwards, but since we can't do that over the computer, then feel free just to send me an email and we can chat about that as well then too. So let's go into then. So this is how to get the oil. This is the best part. And so I find people kind of leading up to like, wow, that's so cool. This is fun. But like, what do I do now? How do I get them? Okay, so there's two ways that you can get doTERRA essential oils into your home. Okay, the first is retail and the second is wholesale. Now, I have on here retail. However, I generally recommend not to. And the reason why is that retail is going to cost you a lot more. They have a wholesale membership, which is called a wellness advocate, and it's $35 for the year. A lot of the kits, it actually includes it. So it's like your Costco membership, right? You pay, I don't know, my Costco, I think it's $55 for the year. And for that time period, I get to buy products at a discounted rate, right? Or they'll have specials and stuff like that. So I definitely always recommend their wholesale membership. So a couple of questions here. Kimberly is saying, anything similar to patchouli? Kimberly, I'm going to write that one down and get back to you then, hon. Okay. And I know I've got your email and everything. So that I don't know off the top of my head. So I will find out for you. I know there's a sandalwood for sure, but I will find out about that. Kimberly's saying, do stores tell doTERRA? No, they're just through wellness advocates like myself. Yeah. One of the cool things about when, you know, people are kind of selling directly this way is it keeps the cost down, right? And so same thing, when in retail, you're going to see if it's done through doTERRA, even if you go into say like my website and you just want to buy products and not get the wholesale membership, you're going to pay 25% more, right? Because they're having to do the order, having to process it. It's more energy versus with that wholesale, you get that 25% off, which I'll explain the next slide. And it's just for $35 for the year. Or again, most of the kits actually included in. So, and I think then too, in the stores as well then too, Kimberly, you know, it's hard once products now become, say, like at a Costco or at a Walmart. The prices will be different. Quality might be different. And so I know they really wanted to keep that quality, wanted to keep it affordable. So there wasn't the great markup like you're going to see at the retail stores, right? Which are sometimes a couple 100% markup. So what that means with your wholesale membership is this. So again, it's called being a wellness advocate. And that can just be for consumption of, you know, some people are like, well, I don't want to do this as a business. You can if you want to. It's not about that. But this is, you are that, whether you're just consuming it, products for yourself, or whether you actually want to share it with family and friends. But it gives you 25% off for that entire year. You also get between 10 and 30% back on what's called PV, product value points, and that's used for future doTERRA products. And so it's tiered. It goes from 10% when you start towards after you get 30% back, which is cool. So if you place an order of, let's say, 100 PV points, and it's roughly one PV point is $1. Some of the accessories like diffusers are a little bit different, but that's kind of, you know, roughly that. So let's say you spend $100, about 100 PV points. you would get 10 points back then to actually use, which could be something like a free bottle of lemon essential oils around $10. So it's neat because as you're actually consuming the products, you're getting points back as well then too. As a wellness advocate, you can also sponsor other wellness advocates. So again, do this to supplement income or to replace income. You have commissions with that. You're also eligible for the product of the month. So for example, this month in January, the product of the month was grapefruit oil. And so if you had 125 PV points, then you actually get a free bottle of grapefruit. They had an additional promotion, which is the last one you're seeing on the slide, which is special promotions, which was for frankincense, which again is that, oh my gosh, like everyone wants frankincense. It's such a great oil. And it's a higher priced oil, okay? The retail of that I think is about 90-ish. The wholesale price is 72, 78, I believe. So definitely it's a lot more than say like lemon, which is again, just 10 bucks, right? And so they had a promotion with that if you had a 200 PV order, you got a free bottle of frankincense. So what that meant, if you had a 200 PV order, you got a free bottle of frankincense. In addition, you got a free bottle of grapefruit. So it's kind of really cool. They've got a lot of neat promotions like this that you can do as a wellness advocate. So what I thought I'd do, and again, it's doTERRA, and learning about this is so great. It can be very overwhelming. Okay, so don't be too, like, oh my gosh, it's so much, I can't remember it all. It's okay. We're going to get the replay. You can watch it anytime after that or for the next few days. But I'm going to kind of walk you through what I think is the best way to actually start with that. So question from Kimberly, how would you diffuse oils in a car? I have a diffuser at home already. I know that doTERRA doesn't have a car diffuser one. I've seen a few people mention ones that's a diffuser actually for their car, Kimberly. But you know what I would do, honestly? I would just put a couple drops in your vent. I think that would be an easy way. You could even, before I got a diffuser, and I was just like, I just want to have the oils. I took a small little ceramic, like almost like a teacup kind of plate, and just put the couple drops of the oil and put it in the room. It didn't diffuse it, but it still got a lot of the scent into the air. So I would say, to make it really simple, just a couple drops into your vent, or like on the steering wheel, something you're going to be touching, gear shift, that kind of thing. And because you're in a small space, that's going to diffuse just kind of naturally as well. So starting with doTERRA. So again, I think one of the best options is through a kit. It gives you just a lot of the different products all at once. I guarantee you're going to be like me. I first got lavender, lemon, peppermint. And then I quickly went through that and I went, oh, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? And so I wish this was the next thing I did, which was the Family Physician's Kit. So it includes all the oils that we went through before, as well as the Slim and Sassy. So that's the one, again, that helps with weight loss. It's going to help to increase metabolism. Jeanette saying she got one off of Amazon. But yeah, cotton balls. That's a cool one to diffuse. Yeah, cotton balls next to the kid's seat. Yeah, easy ways. So again, you've got those 10 oils we mentioned, Slim and Sassy. It includes your wellness advocate fee, so you don't even pay the extra $35. And that kit's for $159, and you get 113 PV points with that. And we'll kind of see as to why, one of the bonuses I'm going to share about in a moment, as to why it's important that I'm showing you this right now. And these are actually 5 ml bottles, so not the full size. The full size is 15, okay? So that's the Family Physician Kit. So that's a great starter kit. The next one up from there is called the Home Essentials Kit. It's the same 10 oils minus the Slim and Sassy, but you're now getting a full size, okay? So you're seeing the bottles are much bigger. This is a 15 ml, so 3 times the size of what we had with the other one. You're also going to get the Wellness Advocate fee included in that, so that's the $35, and you get a diffuser. This is the one that I have, the only one, my orders that I have coming in. I've ordered a couple more. I've ordered one called the Lotus, which is a really lovely diffuser. But this is a super simple one. It's called a pedal diffuser, and that's part of the Home Essentials Kit. And so you've got your 10 oils to start, really good, normal size ones. You have your Wellness Advocate fee, and you have a diffuser. So this is a really, to me, I probably would have started this one or the next one up from that. And I'm just showing 2 kits because it's so much information. I don't want to overwhelm you any more than you might already be. But you'll see when you actually go into place an order, there's other kits. I probably, looking back, would have done the Every Oil Kit. And so that one gives you, as it's called, Every Oil. A lot of other products as well then too. There's one that's just up from this one. I think it's around 500-ish. And it actually has some of the cleaning products and some of their skincare products and some of the supplements. So again, the kits are just a really good starting point. Plus, they save you money. So you're seeing the Home Essential Kit actually saves you $86, versus kind of picking an oil here and an oil there type of thing. So a couple things I'm going to give to you as well and too is some bonuses. So anyone that actually orders a kit today, and that would be up until midnight-ish, we'll just kind of say your time zone, today, then I'll actually send you this Modern Essentials guide. So this is an incredible reference book. You're going to see conditions from A to Z that you can look up for your own family, for friends, to kind of just to take a look at what are the protocols, what types of oils are used for what things. So this will kind of be like your Bible. It's a great explanation to the science. So if you've got someone that's a real science geek, man, there's like chemical symbols in there, okay? So that'll give them all the breakdown of how the science of this actually works. There's recipes for how to use this in food, how to use it in skincare, how to make your own lotions. So this is a really good book. So buying a kit today then means that I'm actually going to pop this in the mail to you, and you'll have that, you know, within about a week or so. Probably would even arrive like before your order. In addition, anyone that actually orders a kit today, I'm going to actually give you a chance to schedule a 30-minute wellness consultation with me. And so in that, and usually we'll schedule it once your kit actually arrives, which we'll sit down, we'll say, okay, let's go through how to use your oils. Let's actually send a form to be filled out before that so that I can get some understanding as to what's happening with your water intake and sleep and rest and all of that kind of stuff, exercise, nutrition. And so I can really kind of give you some good recommendations as to where to go from there outside of using your oils. We take a look at other concerns that you might have for your family and for yourself, go through all of your questions in that time period, and then make any further recommendations for future orders or for family and friends. So those two bonuses with any kits you purchase today. And the third bonus is this one, and this is super, super cool. So this is called New Year, New You. From what I've heard, doTERRA actually ran this last year as well too. So this is how this works. Within 3 days of when you attend a class, which whether this is online or in person, this is a class that I've registered with doTERRA. If you register as a wellness advocate, so again, you buy a kit, it's included, or we're going to show you can actually do that separately if you want to just pick products and do it that way. When you register as a wellness advocate after coming to a class and you order a minimum of 100 PV points, those two kits we saw was at least 100 PV points, actually more than that. And if in addition you order in February, what's called an LRP or your monthly order, again of another 100 PV points, which again, easy to do. You'll get into this very, very quickly and want to order more stuff. Come March, you will actually have 100 PV points to use for future products. So basically $100 back in oil. So this is phenomenal. I know when I taught my first class a few weeks ago, everyone wanted this because it's like, that's like money back for you. That's like, I like explaining is putting, you know, those points are like your doTERRA bank account. And so, and so those will be there for you in March. So essentially 60 days of when you actually register, you will have those. So mine just recently popped up. So when I placed an order, I could say, oh, I want to use this points for this product, this for this one. And it's cool. It goes directly towards future products. So lots of cool bonuses. The book and the wellness consultation with me, ordering by tonight. Within the next 3 days, if you then order at least 100 PV points, so kits or otherwise, and then again, February, 100 PV points, you'll get those 100 PV points come March. So I would definitely encourage you to take advantage of that. This is not something that I've been told kind of comes out often. And so they've done this as a way to kind of get people really starting to make those better health habits here at the beginning of the year. So I'm going to give you some steps now on how to actually get started with all of this. So I'm going to actually pop up here. You're going to see in a second a little button, which will actually take you right there. And we'll go through the steps. Now, it's not difficult to go in and actually to do your first order. Hold on a second, let me go. Okay, so you see a little get started, but I just found it's nice to kind of, is just the occasional person that's like, well, was it this button or this one? So I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like. Don't worry about taking notes. You can just kind of watch. I'm going to, after the online class, actually send you in the email as well into a video I produced, which shows this exact same thing. So you just kind of watch and go along. So let's go here then first. So you're going to first go in, you're going to click on this yellow button. So the one you see on your right-hand side says get a doTERRA kit, other products and bonuses. I'm going to place my doTERRA order. The big yellow get started. So you're going to click on that button. If for some reason, I don't know if it wasn't clicking or something was wrong, then you're just going to go to momat41.com/doTERRA and that'll take you there as well too. Okay. So then when you click on that, it's going to bring you to this. And so this is my doTERRA store, if you will. You'll see welcome to my store. My name, Dr. Karen Osburn, up at the top. And the purple arrow, which says join at the top right-hand corner. So you're going to click on that. So that's the join. You're going to be brought to this screen, which will let you pick your preferred language and what country that you reside in. So for me, obviously, it was Canada. Then you're going to click the continue button. It's going to then bring you right into your options. And so you have wholesale, preferred. Preferred is a little bit different. It's 25 bucks. You get less discount. You don't get some of the other. You can't do product of the month. It's a difference of $10. So, you know, do the wholesale membership. Even some people sometimes will start with doTERRA. They get products for themselves. 3 months down the line, they go, you know what? I would like to actually supplement my income. This is really cool. I really believe in it. I really want to help out other moms or their families. I want to start sharing it more. And then they have to do the whole switchover thing then. And so, yeah, definitely wholesale price. You're going to click on, it'll automatically come up with that one. So that's, I'm sorry, my arrow's kind of cut off here in the slide, but it's already going to have the wholesale price. You're going to click on continue at the bottom right. And then it's going to bring into your personal information. So you're entering your name, address, phone number. You're going to pick a password, all that stuff. And then you'll go right into this page. Okay. And so this is the page I really like to show because this is where some people get a little bit stuck. Okay. So 2 things that you can actually do from here then. You can either purchase a kit, which again, I highly recommend because I just think you get so much stuff with it. And I didn't fully understand. I don't think I asked as many questions at the beginning. So I didn't really quite get it. I was like, well, I'll just try a couple things and then I'll go from there. But then afterwards, I could have had my wellness advocate fee paid for if I ordered one of these kits. So you're going to see up at the top, so it says select an enrollment kit, most popular enrollment kits, and then the big first purple arrow on the top left, okay? So you're gonna see these are actually 2 of the kits, the first 2 that we talked about, right? Family Physician Kit, okay? And also the Home Essentials. So if you said one of those 2, I dig them, I'm gonna get that, you're just gonna click Add to Cart, okay? If you then, and you're gonna see the next one is the Natural Solutions Kit. So you can check them out and kind of peruse all the products. It'll show you, click on there, it'll show you what's everything that's in there. And it'll keep kind of going up. This is the Diamond Kit. There's one which is in every oil kit. Now, if you instead said, cool, but like I can't do the kit, or I don't want to do the kit, or I have a bunch of oils, I want to do something different, you can actually, you're gonna click, you're gonna scroll, okay? So either arrow will get you there. And you're going to see there is an introductory, I think it's an introductory wellness packet, $35. Okay, you're going to select that. So that is your wholesale membership or your wellness advocate fee. So if you said, don't want to do a kit, but I'm going to just kind of pick and choose products, then no, cool, you can do it that way. But select that first. And then if you are going to actually just pick your own products, then you're going to see the second arrow on the left-hand side, the kind of the thinner one, the little less pinky one, bottom left. And you're going to see it pointing where it says enter additional item number or product name. Okay, so all you're going to do is you're going to actually, you can click on the view product guide, which is to the right of the little shopping cart. But if you just said like, oh, that On Guard, I want to get some of that, you can just type in On Guard. It's going to pop down anything that comes up with that name. You select it, and then it'll add it to your cart. Okay, so you can do it a la carte that way and select things separately if you want to do that. Or you might go, hey, I want to get the Home Essentials kit, but I'm going to check out some of their supplements, or I want to check out their skincare as well too. So you can also do it that way. You can add a kit and add separate products. The last area you're seeing on the right-hand side, it says, want to share doTERRA in the next 60 days and earn product packs, okay? I highly recommend you check that box. What that'll do is, again, whether you decide to or not, if you say even just like, hey, mom, check this out, and she's like, this is cool, then you can connect with me. We can kind of make sure that she's set up, you know, below you, so to speak, or in your downline. And you'll get so whether you want to do this as a full-time gig, as a part-time, it just allows you in the first 60 days, you can actually earn product points that are separate from some of the other promotions. So, you know, you can decide not to, but I usually recommend to do that because you never know. You never know that maybe you want to share stuff, and if you forget to do this, and then 60 days later, you lose out on that special promotion, which is called the share program. So go ahead and click that box. And then you just add anything else to your cart. At the bottom is going to be your credit card information, how you want to ship it, and you're kind of good to go. And so it's pretty simple, but I think it's helpful to kind of go through and to show that. So just to make sure that you've kind of got everything in place with that. So before we finish up, I would like to kind of open it up again to any more questions. I'm going to go back to the chat because I kind of closed off that window for me to see as well then too. Yeah, Kimberly, I can chat with you. You've got a thing private. Let me go back to Connie here. Very good. I'm a user of essential oils. Well worth my $30 about the wholesale. Where do we find the recording of this webinar? The recording, Connie, you will get sent to you within a couple hours. So it's already set up as an autoresponder, so it'll get sent right away. You'll have the link to order as well then too. And then again, the bonuses of the Skype consultation, the wellness consultation with myself. The book, if you order a kit, is until midnight. And then the New Year, New You, to get the extra 100 PV points or those doTERRA bank account dollars, if you will, is for the next 3 days after the webinar. So I'll be watching. I get notifications. We will place orders. And then to make sure, I will give you, there's a certain code that I will send you, or I'll just register you myself. So you get those 100 PV points then in a few months' time back in March. And then Kimberly would like to order the physician kit. Yeah, I'm gonna respond back to you then, Kimberly, too, but you can go right in. So you just click on that button. That'll kind of go right in and allow you to do that. Yeah, you can click on that, or actually I'll put down here as well then too. I'm gonna actually put it as a little sticky. So in case, every once in a while people say, I can't see the button that's popping up. So, so it's mom41.com/doTERRA. So I made a really kind of easy one there then. So this is the, hold on a second, display sticky. There we go. So that's the website as well too. mom41.com/doTERRA. If you have to scoot, you got to go with, with kids back to work, that kind of thing, and can't do your order right away at this moment, then of course that'll be sent to you as well. Then too, you can just write down the order, or you can always email me. If questions come up, feel free to, email me anytime. I'm definitely here for you with that then too. Kimberly's saying a little bit lost. Yeah, that's okay. You can go back, but go through. You can watch the video back. I also too will send you. I created a few weeks ago because I realized I kept getting the same questions again and again. And I know, because when I first went in, I was like, so do I click here and click? Like it's, once you get it, it's like, oh, okay, it's easy. But there's always just a couple of areas where people that kind of take a left turn and they don't really know where to go. And so I created a screen capture video, which is 5 minutes. And you see me typing in, going through all that stuff. And so you'll get that in the first email 3 hours after this online class. So if you go in again, you're like, oh my God, how does this work again? Shoot me an email or just watch the video, and it's pretty plug and play. It's pretty easy. If you still are going through and just like, I can't get it, I'm technologically challenged, like, this is just, I'm having a rough time with it, shoot me an email and I'll set it up for you. Okay, so it's, either go through and do that yourself, or if you need to help you along with that, totally cool. I found for a couple people too, and for most, I will still connecting with you on a monthly basis to check in with your order, to see about questions. And so just know, for me, whether it's someone who's wanting to look into doTERRA to actually do this, to join my team, to do this to supplement or replace income, or simply a user of the oils, I'm going to be here to support you everything along the way. And so whether it's monthly online classes I'll be doing, plus in person at my chiropractic office in St. Albert, Alberta, Canada, whether you just want to shoot me a question, whether you're like, what's in that project again? I'll be supplying you with, here's a great site for this, here's a great thing for that. So just let me know what you need and I will give that to you. doTERRA, again, awesome, tons of content, tons of websites, tons of videos, but you can drown in it. And so I don't want to send too much to everybody and overwhelm you. And so as questions do come up, I'll be there to support you along the way. So just know it's not going to be like you get an order and you never hear from me again, or you're like, well, how do I do this now? See, people I find too will get the oils in and then they just sit there. And I'll go, well, how's it going? They're like, well, I don't know how to use them. I don't. So for everybody, I will, have that time to be able to explain that to you. But for sure, getting a kit this evening before the end of the night, so by midnight, will give you a much longer time with me to kind of go through more questions, more recommendations. I'll send you that form so we can actually dig a little bit deeper into it. And I like that. As a chiropractor, to me, that makes a lot of sense. This isn't just about using oil for this health concern and everything's cool. You can use it that way, but I think it's important that we address other aspects of health, those fundamentals that we talked about earlier, and really make sure that I'm doing my best to support you with that then too. So I'm going to keep this open for another minute or two. So any other questions, please feel free to jump in. I know a couple have popped off because we're at now like my time, 2:08, 4:08 Eastern time. So if you need to scoot now too, by all means, go ahead. But I just want to thank everyone for being here today. So whether you're here live, you're listening to the recorded replay, I am really, really excited about doTERRA Essential Oils. I really am. And I hope this has been of value to you. I hope that you've gotten a lot of great benefit out of this. I definitely, whenever I deliver any class, whether it's online or in person, I never really quite know, have I missed something? Did I not get all the information through? But I hope that you really got that out of today and can, at least through my voice at the very least, hear my passion and my excitement and my enthusiasm about this. Because, you know, I know what it's like working in practice for 12 and a half years, being a mom myself as well then too, that we are looking for what are ways I can best serve my family, best take care of my needs with the exhaustion that we feel as moms, and when am I gonna have time for me? And so I love the essential oils as a way to do that again, just simply, naturally working with the body. And it makes a lot of sense of my philosophy as a chiropractor and the way that I really see health. And I think that a lot of you see health as well too. So I'm going to sign off then, ladies. Again, thank you so much for being here. And men who are listening to the replay, I shouldn't make that assumption by any means. But again, you are more than welcome to email me, Dr. Karen at mom@41.com. You'll see that same email address in the email follow-ups as well too. But I'm definitely here for you with any questions. I've had a blast teaching. So again, I hope you've got a lot of today. Thank you so much for being so attentive. Any questions, I'm here for you, and have an awesome day. Bye-bye.